Ooh. Much better. All right, so we're officially in winter mode. I'll explain what's going on here. You'll notice the black car is not here. It's actually over at Brad's with the Camaro. Tucked away where we don't plan on working anyway. We're gonna do the most of the work over here. So his car's in here. The biggest reason is for the 5-speed swap. And then, as most of you have been anticipating, the RSM Vortex supercharger setup. I just got everything out. We pulled everything out of the shed. We got everything in here set up, got everything nice and clean, sorted, and that's really where we're at. I did a coat of Rush Reformer, and then we're gonna do a coating of we'll actually go back over it with actual coating. Before I do all of that though, we did have one little rust hole, and that's that typical spot where that AC drains, but just a little soft, so I went ahead and cut it out. I've got some spare metal. I'm gonna go ahead and just weld a new piece in there, clean it up and paint it over. You won't even notice it's there. That's where we're at with that. This is an actual 5-speed subframe. Got our transmission sitting there. We're gonna get that all nice and cleaned up. We got our clutch, pressure plate, and flywheel here ready to go, all brand new. And then all the other goodies that I need to start going through, cleaning, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a mock-up and get the transmission bolted to that, and make sure everything's good to go. Make sure we don't need to do anything extra before we slap this in there. As far as the supercharger, that's gonna be way later. I'm gonna probably have to build a bracket for it or make a custom bracket for it. Along with it was missing a bunch of bolts. Whenever the guy tore this thing off the car, he slapped some stuff in some baggies, and it was definitely, some of it didn't even belong to it, so I'm not sure what was going on with that. But we have the meat and potatoes. I can make the rest work. So that means the engine's got to come out, so we're gonna pull the engine out. It's gonna go on the stand. Then we'll get the automatic out of there. Not sure what I want to do with it yet. It's still good, so I hate to toss it, so we might try to shuffle it back to the shed and just kind of save it for rain day. But we also have one over there as well. But so that'll get the engine bay cleaned out. Then we'll have to go inside and get the center out, get that all situated. He was actually able to find someone with a B&M shifter, so that's kind of cool. So that'll go in there. We got the clutch pedal to install, run the cables, have all that fun while we're in there. Yeah, here's some of that. Clutch cables, master cylinder, clutch line, got bolts, pedal. There's one of the axles. I've got the other axle still in the shed I gotta get. But yeah, a little bit of a project. I don't anticipate it being too bad. The 5-speed's probably gonna go, once we get everything we need, the 5-speed part of it's probably gonna be the easiest part. Because I'll get that in there with the engine back in there, then we'll go ahead and start the supercharger part of it. I do need to get a hold of Ben at Wotech, because we are going to go ahead and change the cam out of this to one that's better suited for a supercharger, and would like to go ahead and use that cam in this motor from the daily. Still got the TC throttle body on there, but yeah, I like to use that for a daily. And then as far as the supercharger, once we get that in bolted where I want it to be, I'm gonna go ahead and make all custom charge pipe. My idea is we're actually gonna intercool it. It doesn't line up. When I mocked it up, it wouldn't. It actually wouldn't even work to try to go right into the throttle body anyway. I also don't want to run without a mass airflow sensor, so I should be able to clock that thing differently, but the idea is going to be to go down into the intercooler and then do like a same side setup and then come up and out and then back into the engine. So that'll be fun. That'll be a little interesting, and that'll probably take up most of our time and most of our attention. Other than that, as far as the car goes, I know he wants to do all new brakes. We'll probably powder coat them, do a big brake kit up front, and it's really it. It does need a dash still. As you can see, he has the carpet to kind of hide it. He ended up cutting it out because it was curled up so bad that it was actually in his face while driving. We do have a couple other things to take care of on the other cars, but I wanted to get this all set up. That way, whenever there's free time, we can come over here and start attacking it. So let's go head over to Brad's house and talk about what's going on over there. All right, well, here she is, still alive and well, as well as the Camaro. Camaro really doesn't need anything. Running wise, she's actually really good. We just got to figure out whatever ECU issue we're having, and then you can see right there in the center we need to put his radio back in and build out sides basically. But that's easy enough. For this thing, so we do have a whole fuel system set up ready. So 6 AN lines, aftermarket adjustable regulator. I've got a rail there. I've got fittings so far to start adapting it over. And I do have a new fender wall there that's got to go on. Both front strut mounts are pretty bad, so we'll get those changed out. But the biggest thing is I've got a massive leak somewhere, and I'm thinking somewhere under here. So sometime before it comes back out, we'll come over here and spend a couple days, tear it down, clean up, make sure everything's nice and sealed, and put it back together. But yeah, other than that, we really don't have to do too much. When I do the fuel, I gotta dig out that pump. I will put I'll probably end up putting the Wally 255 back in, because it was still just fine. I also have those 2-on-3 320 LPH pumps, but one will be going in Brad's car. Battery tender on and letting her sit. Okay, so there you have it. That's what's going on over there. I said, you know what's going on over here. Pretty much the agenda for this winter, but we got to get going on this thing. Did manage to get one of these in, so I punch that out, put a new one in. So you get that welder, get that done, and yeah, just get moving so we get this knocked out. So as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.